Hi, YouTube. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. To my friends over across the seas, happy belated Christmas. Um, oh, it has been a long day. Actually, well, let me see. It was Monday night, or let me see, Christmas Eve night. So yeah, the night before last, our refrigerator went out at 6 o'clock at night. So all day yesterday, I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do? Because we can't get one today. Well, we had some people, we decided now we'll just put one on our charge card and be done with it and then, have a good one because a lot of times we'll buy something used and this one I'd probably still be working if it wasn't a used one. So, um, anyway, boy, we both just hate this refrigerator. It looks good, but it just, oh, and it's huge. It was hard. We had to literally cut the house to make an opening bigger to get this refrigerator in. And today I measured it. And I had thought about this at first, but thought, well, Doug wants to do what he wants to do. But I thought, what if I take the doors off? Because I saw they have like a hex bolt on top. I wonder if it's going to fit through my door. And I measured it, and I've got at least an inch of play with it that I can get in and out if I take the doors to the refrigerator off. So today I thought, okay, what am I going to do with our groceries? That's an issue. We've got a little refrigerator out in the shop, but I didn't want to haul everything out there, so I took a big cooler that I had and put on my frozen stuff in there and some other stuff to keep it cold and took it out beside the porch and packed snow all around it. We did have 2 feet of snow, but it's been melting like incredibly, terribly quick. Otherwise, I would have been able to just set stuff out there with no worries, but it hasn't even been below freezing at nights. Yesterday morning, when I got up, it was 40 degrees. And I'm thinking, oh, I got all this food. Well, it kept it cold in there yesterday. So today, I took all these vegetables I had bagged up. I had chopped up stuff from the Amish. I was so happy I had like the one part of that refrigerator freezer covered with veggies for the winter, that I put in little chopped up, wash chopped up, put in little baggies, but peppers, zucchini, onions, that type of celery, whatever, all kinds of stuff. And oh, there was strawberries in there and corn and peas and all kinds of stuff. So, my horse and the squirrels and birds are going to have a heyday when they get up in the morning. In fact, the peas and some of the strawberries, well, I had like some bread I gave them to, and then they've got their corn, and I gave them some oats because I'm getting low on that, so I mixed it. So it's all good for them, but they'll never go hungry. I even cooked for them one day last week, so um, all of them. But anyway, my horse has got a giant dish, like it's literally 3 feet around, and it's rubber, so she can't wreck it. And it's her forever. It's a dusty dish, but I put some ramen noodles and some mixed vegetables in there, and some of these onion type corn things that Doug bought that were just terrible, a snack. And I gave them that because it's made out of corn and probably no good for them, but the veggies and stuff were good for them. But they eat everything. There's something in the yard. There's always somebody that's going to eat it. So, um, but anyway, so I got my stuff out of my refrigerator, had that all snow packed, and then I took one of the trays that was empty out of the freezer where the meat goes and put all my stuff that's in glass jars, like condiments like soy sauce and whatever. Put that in there and went and set that on top. And then I had a little basket where I put like some pickles that I have that I want to keep cold, and two of them, and set them all beside and pack snow around everything. And then I took this old Harley blanket that we have for covering a motorcycle. It's black, but I flipped it over on its silver side and put that, it's insulated, and put that over the whole thing beside the porch and the wood. And then I put snow underneath there. And I mean, I just packed it where there's no way everything, there's a gallon of milk in there, there's cheese, all kinds of stuff. Um, Stuff that I didn't want any little critters to be able to get into, like I couldn't put plastic. So I had like pancake syrup, that type, and other stuff that I sent out into the shop for Doug, like our peanut butter and everything to put in that little refrigerator. I carried it out there so he wouldn't have to, because he's still pretty injured. He's out there working tonight, but I know it's not easy for him. He has trouble even sleeping yet, but he has been able to lay down, not all night long, but at least he's been able to lay down and get some rest. So, but I know he's still hurting. I've been there, totally squished, that type of devastating, or pulled spinal cord, and oh, my stomach muscles and ligaments when I pulled and hurt all them. That was really bad. Some of you might know the story, but I was 15 and they gave me a going away party. My friends did, and I got really drunk on all kinds of stuff. And I went to do a round off, and I am quite the gymnast, or I was, I should say. Still a martial artist and still a yogi, but not a gymnast. I've been thinking about walking on my hands to prove my power to my arms, but I thought, not right now. If I have somebody spotting me, I'd like to do it up against the wall. Do you know that song? Up against the wall, redneck mothers, mothers who have raised a son so well. He's 31 and drinking in a honky tonk, and I don't know the rest of it. Oh well. But yeah. But yeah, so I'd like to have somebody spot me when I do that. The same with a back bend. It's like, yeah, I know I can. It's just, and I can anyway standing up. But to go from a stand up position into a back bend, and then come out of it either forward or backwards, So that I would want somebody to just be there, just in case. So, so I remember, I think it was on my 40th birthday. In fact, it was. We had great big snow drifts in our yard, and my son John and I were doing front flips into the snowdrift along our driveway. We'd pick a nice fluffy spot and we'd go, okay, and we'd just do a somersault in the air. And cause he's a martial artist too, we'd just like flip into the snow, and we were cracking up. It was pretty funny. So, but yeah, he can do front flips. I'm a back flipper. I can do like 5 in a row before I get dizzy. Or I could, I should say. But he does about three or four forward, you know. I can do one. I'll do one. If I do more than one forward, I'm just not, my body doesn't do that well. Certain things people do better than others, so, athletically. So I thought, I have to get on here and wish everybody Merry Christmas, even though I have been really tired. But I do thank God it's been warm enough, and Doug was able to get out to the shop a couple days and warm it up. where I didn't have to carry the wood in there and in the house. And then also, get all the fires going and everything. In the last few days, Doug's been able to even put like a chunk of wood in the stove. When you're dealing with, like 15, 20 pounds or whatever it is out in front of you, that's kind of a big deal when you're injured. So for him to even do that when it's even hard to go to the bathroom or wash or that type of thing, to even help me with a chunk of wood is a pretty big deal. So yeah. So anyway, um, I still have things in my refrigerator, like apples and onions and things like that. Um, but I'm not going to worry about them today. And there's some like bottles of condiments of stuff that if there was a little bit in there or something, I just threw it out, so, or will. But yeah, that takes time. So that was kind of the expenditure of my day. My youngest son and his girlfriend called me this morning. They had broke up for a while but got back together, and I was praying hard about it because I think she's good for him. And they're doing well, I think, and I hope. So I was happy, and I was so bummed out about that last week. I was really heartbroken. It's like this just can't keep going on like this. Something's got to give in these people's lives. When people have a really hard life, sometimes it's just, God give them a break. Help them. So, and then I had a dairy farmer friend on Facebook, and oh, I said something to her about a sketching she had in her kitchen of a Holstein. I said, nice sketch. And she only liked my comment. And I thought, well, she had befriended me. But and she works for the town council. She's a clerk, I think, in our township. It's a little tiny town hall. And so some of my comments that are like anti government or whatever, I'm sure she doesn't appreciate very much. But I just know that people have it in them to rule themselves, and we really shouldn't have to have governments in this world unless it were just to manage the needy and the homeless and that type. Everybody else, we should be able to work things out where everybody is taken care of in this world. If one person isn't too greedy, the next person can have. I have things I can give. I'm sure other people do too. I may not have money, but I have stuff. If somebody needs stuff and I have it, I'm not using it, I'll give them my stuff. It's no big deal. Well, that would make the world go around. Like I say, I trade my rhubarb or my asparagus for carrots or, whatever, potatoes. That's what makes the world go around. Then a mechanic needs some asparagus, and we need a starter, whatever, you know. And people can still work without having to kill themselves. Um, we could just help each other a lot more in this world than what people do. That's all I know. And I know it for a fact. I've seen people get along in groups and have no problems. The only time that there would be a problem is if there was like one narcissist and everybody else was cool, but then you got this one joker in a group, a whole group. It's like, okay, everybody knows you, now go sit down and shut up. So, anyway, yeah. But, oh, Lionel and Mrs. L were on for Christmas and Christmas Eve, but he told a joke. I'll get it right. I'll give you a Lionel joke here. Okay, there was two friends. They hadn't seen each other for a long time, and they were both out walking their dogs, and they met. And they're like, "Hey, long time no see. We should go have a cup of coffee or something." and the one guy's like, well, we have dogs, we can't take them in there. He says, let's take care of this. So he puts on his sunglasses. Other guy puts on his sunglasses, and the first guy walks up to the restaurant, and he's like, I'd like to have a table, please. And he's like, well, sir, it's against our policy. We don't let dogs in here. He said, this is a service dog. So the guy's like, okay, there's a table over here. Let me show you to your table. Really cool. So second guy comes up, got his sunglasses on, says, I'd like to have a table. And the host is like, well, sir, we don't let animals in here. And the guy's like, this is a service dog for the blind. And the host is like, a chihuahua? And the guy's like, they gave me a chihuahua? you know. So I thought that was pretty cute. So, oh yeah, Lionel was just kind of funny, and they were talking about animals that were on drugs. Like the one, they met somebody literally who had a dog on Prozac. I could see where that would happen. I had a dog, a childhood dog, when I left the home. He stopped eating. So, yes, that they do have sorrows, and animals do feel pain and grief. And like Doug's cat was on Thorazine, Kitty's Thorazine. He was peeing all over the place like a crazy thing, just would not stop, all over. I mean, I go after him and I wash stuff twice. I don't like with Lysol. I'll squirt it down and soak it up and with paper towels and squirt it down again and soak it up and whatever. And I don't have a lot of carpets, just kind of throw rugs and like space carpets, not space ones, but you know what I mean, but area rugs. So, and some are bigger, but um just like even up against the wall by the outside door or whatever. And he's not out, he's never been outside. His feet have never touched the ground. um well, anyway, so he went on Kitty Thorazine, and he stopped doing that. Well, after about 3 years, and he had been doing really, really good, I told Doug, I think it's time that we kind of slow him down because it can give you hallucinations if you just like cut you right off. And so we did. We cut him down. Then he quit, and he was being pretty good. See, his mama died, and he always had kind of emotional problems. He saw her with her leg cut off. Um, she was more worried about her babies, and because she had babies that were 4 weeks old, than she was about her leg not being there. It was just hanging there by the skin and kind of tended. So Doug had to put her down. There was no bed open. There's another thing, and it was Halloween, the bloodiest Halloween for real I ever saw. Was the grossest thing in my life, pretty much, that I ever saw. you know? So I can see where an animal would need emotional care and how the serotonin in their brains could change with just like people. Some people do really well with medications. Not all the time is it bad because um, there are certain times where, say, if you were malnutrition when you were little, or you had a tendency to eat a certain thing and your body got thrown off kilter, or a diabetic, or whatever the case may be, thyroid problem, whatever, can lead to a physical problem and actually emotional problems. Physical becomes the emotional, and emotional can become the physical. You know, like if you are sick at heart, you can make your body sick. And if your body's sick, it can make your heart sick. And the way we think and the way we react to others. Like if we're sick, we're not feeling good. Some of you have heard me talk about this before, but it is so true. You know, if you have somebody that's kind of sick, well, it doesn't always work, but sometimes you can ask them to maybe not talk right at that moment until they feel better because they may say something they don't want to say or, act like they don't want to act when they're not feeling well. So, yeah. So I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. And mine was in a weird way. We didn't exchange gifts. Doug did go into town, but everything was closed, and usually it's not. So it was really weird. Walmart being closed after their new store here. They had a little one where I work, but their big one has been there for 6 years, and it's the first time it closed. So he goes in there thinking he's going to pay some bills and whatever last night, but they were closed when he got there. So, um, yeah, that was sort of a bummer, but not too bad. But um, I don't always buy him gifts. Once in a while, I do. I do believe. Oh yeah, like last year, I think I got him like a work jacket or something, or yeah. But I mean, and he likes that type of thing. Or if you get him tools or something. But one year when I first met him, he got me something like a waffle maker or something like that, and I'm like, dude, I'll never cook no flipping waffles in my whole life. It's like the only thing you could freaking think of. Give me something to make you something with. No, you know, that wasn't a gift to me because I had done a lot of cooking in my life, and it's like, that's the last thing I wanted to see. I think he kind of got the idea. So, yeah. I get more gifts through the year, though, actually. So it's not really a big deal. Kind of, sort of, but not really. It's more important to me to get things to grandkids, which I couldn't do this year. And so I promised them a good Easter. So even if I got to take all my change in the house or whatever, I'm going to give them a good Easter. So, um, yeah. And I always have gotten together Christmas and birthday stuff for especially the one that I saw and communicated with. Yeah. So this year, that was the hardest thing about it all was not being able to do for people that I wanted to. And it is. It's kind of difficult. But for between husband and wife, if they both kind of like with you got bills and all that stuff, and it's like, what's more important? I watch people going in debt trying to please other people on Christmas time, and I've done it myself. It's like if you forfeit your electric bill and then you have to play catch up or something, it's like terrible, you know, or go without stuff to give other people. That I will do. But to ignore a bill, we don't have enough to pay the bills as it is, so we couldn't feasibly think about. And now this refrigerator thing, it's always something, isn't it? Just when you think you're gonna be okay, something happens. you know. So anyway, yeah. I don't really know much else today. Oh, that's probably about it. I just wanted to say hi and not leave everybody hanging too long, and I had a little bit of energy. It's like, well, I was up till about 2 last night and slept in late, so I feel pretty good, not too bad. And it was funny, not funny, but different that my dog didn't even wake up this morning. I think she didn't hear the neighbor girls getting out to go to school. So they live across the field, and their house is really pretty with Christmas lights. I was going to try and snap a shot of it, but another time because I don't have a pause on this little phone's just a cheapo. So, um, yeah. So I'll let you go. And once again, Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining me. If it's tomorrow or whenever, have the happiest new year. Let's make this way better than any year ever. I love you. Thank you. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.